Welcome to Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Thomas Jefferson University was founded in 1824 as Jefferson Medical College. In 1877, Thomas Jefferson University Hospital was established, and Jefferson Medical College became the second medical school in the country with a separate teaching hospital. Joining Jefferson Medical College in 1891 was the Jefferson Hospital Training College for Nurses, and in 1967, the College of Allied Health Sciences. Thomas Jefferson University was officially established in 1969, the same year the College of Graduate Studies was opened, now known as the College of Biomedical Sciences. Fast forward to 2024, Jefferson Health is working with Clemens Construction and you to renovate and upgrade these facilities. Our job is to get our work done with the least possible disruption to the facility. The work that we do needs to be carefully planned, and everyone working here on the construction team is a key to a successful project. If you are a tradesperson, it's your responsibility to keep your foreman informed and up to date on your daily activities and observations. If you are foreman, it is your responsibility to keep our superintendent informed and aware. Upon successful completion of this required orientation, you will receive a hard hat decal with a badge number. Everyone who works in this facility is required to first view this safety and facility orientation and pass a quiz based on information within this video before commencing any work. This orientation will provide information about the TJU facility and working within the facility. Please listen carefully. After this presentation, there is a required evaluation prior to commencing work. Information about Thomas Jefferson University, this facility, and the project. You are working in a world-class facility that never stops and it never closes. The work inside these walls continues round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are no off hours for patients and staff. Jefferson's mission is to improve lives throughout the region. When working here, consider that families and patients may be experiencing stressful circumstances. We can't allow our construction activities to add to their stress. Always be courteous to the families and the staff. As a building trades professional working in this building, it is your obligation to understand the planning that has taken place for this project. The planning for this project includes logistics, safety, and infectious control. The following video from Ashi is a brief overview of things you should know before working on a job site in a healthcare facility.
Unique and complex, a 24/7 operation. You'll be going to a healthcare facility to provide a variety of building or equipment services. Your actions and those of your team will either have a positive or negative impact on the healthcare staff, visitors, or most importantly, the patients who are being treated there. While some of those patients are mobile and relatively healthy, others are not able to move around freely on their own and may have immune systems that are weakened or compromised by their illness and treatment.
A primary purpose of this training is to equip you with the knowledge of the uniqueness of working in healthcare so that your subsequent work performance will result in a positive impact on the occupants of that facility.
Building and equipment services in a healthcare environment can often lead to dissatisfaction among patients and patients' families. Just like we want the best care for ourselves and for our families, patients and their families demand high levels of care and professionalism during their treatment in a healthcare facility.
It is important that you understand that your actions directly impact the patient's comfort and health during their stay.
Building and equipment services in a healthcare environment can often lead to dissatisfaction among the healthcare staff too. The healthcare staff may become quickly frustrated during such services if healthcare technicians are not properly trained to work in a healthcare facility.
Remember, if you disrupt a facility's ability to properly care for patients, it is likely you will be asked to leave the worksite and your employer may lose the job.
The best way to avoid negative results during work in healthcare is pre-planning. On building and equipment services projects, this pre-planning process is called PICRA, or Pre-Construction Risk Assessment. A PICRA is designed to protect patients from risks in the building through the assessment of the following 7 categories. 1. Noise. 2. Vibration. 3. Air quality. 4. Interim life safety measures, or ILSM. 5. Infection control risk assessment, or ICRA. 6. Emergency procedures. And 7. Utility failures.
Let's look at one particularly disruptive part of building services: demolition. During demolition, dust and debris is often present in the air. The air moves throughout a building and can negatively impact patients who breathe in that air. A PICRA will address this potential problem before a building services or construction project begins and will assure that measures have been put in place to protect patients.
What kind of air quality measures might be included? The PICRA might address how often air filters should be changed during the demolition and other phases in the construction plan, or where, when, and how isolation systems may be required or used.
A PICRA will also protect patients from unplanned power outages. If an unplanned power outage occurs, ventilation and water may be compromised, posing an infection risk for many patients. A PICRA developed prior to beginning a building services or construction project will have a contingency plan in place in case such an outage occurs.
The movement of debris during building service or construction projects is a common source of infection exposure within a healthcare facility. This is another example of how a PICRA, when completed prior to the start of a building service or construction project, can protect patients.
Consider this. While working on a project at a healthcare facility, you must move debris from a demolition site to an outside area. The debris can be moved in any manner and at any time during the normal 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. workday, right? Not necessarily. A PICRA may specify how debris should be moved in a covered wheeled container, for example, and when debris should be moved. After 8 p.m., for example. Now, listen to the following scenario and try to predict what might be included in this PICRA.
You're working on a demolition project on the third floor of a healthcare facility. The surgery center is located on the second floor. In this healthcare facility, surgeries are performed between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Did you predict that the PICRA would indicate that demolition activity should occur after 6 p.m.? If you did, great.
A PICRA can help plan for patient flow through a building that is under construction or building repair type services. Moving patients between parts of a healthcare facility to different floors within the facility, and even different rooms on the same floor can increase the risk of acquiring an infection. Facility staff must know which routes are available when moving patients, and a PICRA can provide that information. You have arrived at a check.
We hope that the video you just watched gives you some perspective about the challenges of working in a healthcare facility and your responsibilities as a trade professional. Everything you do while on site has the potential to impact the experience and outcome for the patients and families. We want everyone associated with the project to think about this every day that they come to work. The most important project goals are to complete the work safely and without interruption to the facility. Deliveries and access. It's your responsibility to review the logistics plan with your foreman and Clemens superintendent. This logistics plan and other documents are a part of your company's contract agreement. Please note, all deliveries must be scheduled with Clemens superintendent. There is no on-site parking available. Make sure you are familiar with the designated work zones. You are only authorized to be in the project area. If you need access to areas outside of our work zone, get approval from the Clemens superintendent. Working in the hospital. During flu season, you are required to get a flu shot and provide the documentation from your healthcare provider. Safety is the responsibility of each trade partner and each tradesperson working on this job site. Job safety analysis, JSAs, are required to be submitted and approved by the Clemens superintendent. Appropriate PPE must be worn at all times. Regular check-ins by your company safety officer are required, and they need to check in with our superintendent when they are on site. Be prepared to stop work and participate in a safety stand-down when they are scheduled or if there is an incident or a near miss. In the areas we are working, we proactively test all materials that are presumed asbestos-containing material, known as PACM. If you discover any material during the renovation process that is unfamiliar or suspect, notify your foreman before disturbing the material. If the material composition is unknown by the hospital, it will be sampled to ensure worker safety. ICRA is an acronym for Infectious Control Risk Assessment. Each tradesperson must become familiar with the ICRA plan. It's the responsivity of everyone working on the job site to participate and maintain infectious control measures. Ante-rooms, tacky mats, and walk-off mats are all ICRA tools. You have the personal responsibility to make sure you are using those correctly. An ante-room is an airlock, only open one door at a time. Always cover carts and material while in transport. Never unplug HEPA fans. Wipe your feet when you leave the construction containment area. Vacuum yourself off when you leave. Look behind you when you leave the ICRA containment to check for footprints. The purpose of an ICRA is to protect patients and staff from dust, odors, and contaminants associated with our job site. It is every person's responsibility to keep the hospital environment clean and safe. Construction doors are to be kept closed. There are combination locks on the doors for security. Never leave a tool, material, or carts unattended outside of the ICRA containment. When moving material through an occupied area, 2 people are required if the material is bulky or greater than 4 feet in length. For example, 8-foot metal studs or conduit require a person on each end. There are sensitive areas within the hospital where noise and vibration could be disruptive and negatively impact hospital operations. Please coordinate with your foreman and Clemens superintendent about any activities that may impact the hospital's day-to-day operations, including drilling hangers and anchors. Remember, restrictions change daily and are area-specific. Therefore, communicate daily about your activities and plan your work ahead. You are working in a hospital environment where families are very likely dealing with the stress of friends and loved ones who need treatment. Our role is to improve the facility while remaining as transparent as possible to the patient, family, and staff. Construction is intrusive, so it's not possible for us to be behind the scenes all the time. Therefore, when we are in contact with patients, families, and staff, we need to be on top of our game. You are a professional, so please always behave professionally. Don't use inappropriate language. Dress respectfully. Never say or make a comment about any patient, family, or staff member. We are guests. Step out of the way for staff and patients. Patients, families, and staff come first. You may purchase food in the cafeteria. The seating areas are for patients, their visitors, and staff only. You may be allowed to have food in a construction area, but this is decided on a job-by-job basis, so ask the superintendent or your foreman. If break and lunch are allowed in the construction area, you must clean up after yourself and get all waste into trash containers. Leaving food and waste in the job area is not allowed and is considered cause for removal from the project. You are required to have all necessary personal protection equipment for your job. This includes hard hats, safety glasses, and boots. Use respirators and gloves if required for the task. You cannot wear shorts and your shirt must have sleeves. Please talk to your foreman about the specific PPE you need for your job. Any work that includes burning, grinding, or cutting requires a hot work permit. 2 days advance notice is required. Talk to your foreman before you proceed and ask if the hot work permit is in place. Removing a ceiling tile requires a permit. Talk to your foreman and Clemens superintendent. Any work you do could raise dust and could set off a smoke detector. Do not proceed with any dusty work unless you have consulted with your foreman. Setting off a fire alarm or a smoke detector is cause for permanent removal from this job site, for both you and your foreman. Shutdowns require advance notice and should be scheduled 1 week in advance. Talk to your foreman about shutdowns and make sure they have been approved by the hospital and Clemens. Any penetration through a slab, a rated wall, or the interstitial deck may require that a penetration permit be pulled. Discuss this with your foreman. Do not penetrate walls or slabs unless you know that the permit is in place and the penetration has been approved. The process for calling out devices or covering smoke detectors will be pre-planned with the facility. See your foreman for further information regarding the policy, procedures, and paperwork required. All shutdowns or any activity that could alter the fire alarm system will be coordinated with the Clemens superintendent and your foreman. For this project, a bathroom has been designated for use by the construction team. No other bathroom facilities in the hospital may be used. See your foreman for the designated location. The rally point for emergencies is in the alley set back from Walnut Street. Look for the rally point sign. There is no smoking, chewing tobacco, or vapes allowed on the hospital property. Electric scooters will not be allowed into the facility and must be parked outside. Thank you for your time. For any questions, please see the Clemens superintendent.